two types of humans, earthly and heavenly. This has to do with archaeology and even ancient Greek philosophy, basically. Our world, strange as it may sound, is made up of two kinds of people: those who come from the earthly element, the energy of the earth, the ape-like mutants, and those who come from the divine beings, the children of the sun, and people from this realm. Earthlings, mutated by the Atlanteans by interfering with their DNA, giving them the opportunity to speak and think, and the latter coming from the seed of the gods from the planet Sirius, the Sirius star system. The people of the divine seed bear the greatest responsibility for the salvation evolution of the planet. Others need guidance. The former belong to the free, those who can and must create work within the free field of creation that you provide from these gods to men. And through this possibility, they are given the power to awaken their dormant consciousness through the activation of their epiphysis, and to others the opportunity to expel their animal nature due to the little divine fire that they have. In this field, one can have access and perform work in realities of worlds in the world, in the void of the material at one's disposal. This peculiarity, which is not known to all, has been carefully concealed and falsified over the centuries by those who hold human power today, but also since ancient times through the management and control and the direction of the will of each of us, and by dominating everyone's thinking, which is done through the laws that know them and work on them. They control and limit man by sterilizing his imagination. And this position of guidance of many to the light, that which should be possessed by the excellencies, is held by the negative forces of the Atlanteans, who led the divine man to darkness, the space in which they live. And we're talking about Thoth the Atlantean, who wrote the Emerald Tablets, and we know that the Atlantis has been destroyed by divine providence. Even Thoth himself, the Atlantean who wrote the Emerald Tablets, told us that they were so haughty and self-centered. They were delving in magic and mysteries and negative energies. They had such advanced technology. They had air travel, space travel. They had interdimensional travel, and these frequencies going in and out of earthly frequencies and interdimensional frequencies, even bringing into our earthly realm demonic influences. This is what caused their demise. He did write, though, that a lot of Atlanteans did escape to other areas of the world and set up new cities with their advanced technology. And he was the one that went to Egypt and even set up the Giza Plateau of pyramids. He says that in the Emerald Tablets, he claims that he has buried his spaceship under a sphinx in a plateau of pyramids. We don't know if that's Giza or another pyramid plateau, because there are other plateaus like the Saqqara, for example. Now, going back to this, the Atlanteans keep a hatred for the children of God that starts from the time that they were defeated by the Greeks. Now, we know that the Atlanteans were against Europeans and Greeks, and somehow they were sunk, and that was their demise. Now, it says here, their domination was restored by the Roman Empire, with the Roman Empire, which was the beginning of the countdown to the Greek spirit. Nothing is a coincidence. Everything has been launched in a guided way by them, and all we have left is to wake up from this sleep they've thrown at us. Quote, it simply came to our notice then. The days of liberation are very close. Some may have already begun to realize this, and many people worry and feel that of what is coming. Even more are looking for a way to follow this universal evolution of liberation. For all this, a good thought is enough. Life unfolds on three levels: the celestial, the earthly, and the subterranean. From the heavenly comes the spiritual light. In the earthly, he unites the elements and gives them thousands of forms through which the realization comes through the expression of free will. And in the sub-earth, the forms dissolve, the elements return to their previous state where the light as a conscious soul returns to the sky. The Atlanteans never forgot their defeat by the Greeks, and they never stopped seeking the opening of a new Styx, STYX, that would lead them to the heavenly Olympus. The heroes we see on missions at the behest of the gods are none other than members of the Argonauts, the crew of Argos, who have traveled the globe, restored its troubled geodetic system, and sought to restore balance. We see heroes that were sent on a mission equipped with special equipment given to them by the gods, such as Hercules, who took the sword from Mercury, the bows of Apollo, the golden chest from Hephaestus, and the tunic of Athena, goddess Athena. He took the direction plan from Pythia, the oracle of Delphi, we know her. So he went to Tiryns, to Eurystheus, for 12 years, was a soldier in the liquidation service. In fact, he did not execute beasts and monsters, but dissolved the priesthood and the strategic points of the atlases. After all, the gods themselves were not without responsibility for what was happening on Earth. The quote-unquote cousins of the Titanic scientists were the Atlanteans, who escaped the original mission they had, namely the exploration of the solar systems to find intelligent beings, and fell after intervening in earthly beings. The gods from Sirius, quote-unquote gods, because they were so advanced in technology. The quote-unquote gods from Sirius had the absolute knowledge of the laws of physics, chemistry, and biology. In our body, there is the rattlesnake snake, and it concerns the energy from the lower part of the spine, the coccyx or sacred bone, which passes through the spinal cord and reaches the brain. But the last vertebra at the base of the skull, you say Atlas. Atlas was obliged to hold Uranus on his shoulders. When Hercules went to get the apple of Hesperidus of knowledge, he needed the help of Atlanta. Growth comes with the activation of the epiphysis. It completes the seventh gland of the endocrine. So those who see that and hear with the subconscious, the sixth sense, are under the power of the laws of space. The advanced man is the one who, after seeing with the epiphysis the true light, will receive a heavenly spirit. That is, he will be in the eighth heaven, where he will restore his unification with his ideal model, which is the spiritual body, and he will become immortal. The Greek gods and heroes who traveled by astral ship, the Argonauts, the ship is Argo, all over the planet, created the first civilization on Earth in Greece and Atlantis. They used the Sirius system as a model. This model was Olympus, the celestial paradise, and there, thanks to the field potentials of Comrade Sirius II, the Olympian Greeks always remained young. Plato, the ancient Greek philosopher Plato, had the same pattern in mind when he wrote his state. He tried to apply the laws of Sirius with the separate classes of priests, guards, farmers, and craftsmen to Earth. As Plato says, after each catastrophe, there is always a little sperm with which a new beginning is made. From this sperm that was kept in Argo, Athena, the goddess Athena, and the god Hephaestus, he's the guy that does the volcano explosions, and also created various machines, created the excellent race of the Athenians. However, on Earth, in addition to the man from the celestial sperm, there's also the anthropoid that has undergone Atlas surgery. The Battle of the Titans, about 9000 BC, it was a war between the Atlanteans and the Greeks, a struggle that took place in heaven and earth. The Atlases on Earth, who, as Plato recounts, had long since lost their divinity, that is, their epiphysis was deactivated because they had mingled with the false genera they created, rushed against Europe and Asia, while the sky they rushed against Olympus, passing the dynamic field of companion Sirius II through the Styx of the Atlantic. Now, this, of course, has to do with the Anunnaki and Nephilim, okay, the gods, quote-unquote, with the advanced technology, knowledge, and the men of Earth, men and women of Earth. So obviously this has to do with Nephilim and Anunnaki types of beings. Now, but just as the Olympians deservedly treated them, so the Athenians, as their true children, defeated them here on earth. That is why the hatred of the Atlanteans through their sub races remains unquenchable. From the secret traditions, you say that beings, flora, fauna, man, were the seeds that came from Sirius through our sun, but there are two kinds of people on earth. Those who evolved from the intervention of the heavens, that is, the anthropoid, and those who have celestial sperm. And the Greeks belonged to those who had the celestial sperm, so Plato says. All other kinds of people were created by the Atlantic forces, the Atlanteans, so there was the earthly man from Prometheus, who had made the intervention in the earthly, the anthropoid, and the celestial created by Athena and Hephaestus. From the Atlanteans, those who survived after their defeat retained in various places the memory of the knowledge they had through centers and galleries and cities they built, among which the most important are Arcadia, Crete, Egypt, where they mingled with the Greeks and created the Greek Atlantic element. Their major hierarchical centers, however, with their most important organizations, were in Egypt and Asia, where they worked on their great plan. On the day of their return of their world leader from the three-seater Tartarus, they achieved their great blow from Rome when they sought, through the Roman Empire they created and developed to carry out their plan for world domination. The oldest leaders of the Roman tribes were called Titans, and it is no coincidence that later divisions were named legions, which are associated with the legions of demons in Christian times. Atlas, in fact, has never existed as a country on our planet. Atlantis, in fact, has never existed as a country on our planet. It was an artificial island in the Atlantic Ocean created by Titan Poseidon and was first called Poseidonia. At its center was a Styx channel that connected the sky with the point where they came from, that is, their cosmopolitan road, which is today's Bermuda Triangle. And the Atlases, who were saved around the world, were also the ones who sought to create the new Atlantis, Troy. Apart from Greeks and natives, Atlantis also went there from those who had escaped to Arcadia. The Trojans, who came from the Atlantean generation, were again defeated by the Greeks, but their real end never came. Okay, this is published by the exclusive One Wave, and it's translated. I translated it for you from a Greek article, Diadrastika. So please leave your comments. Tell me what you think. Thank you. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.